Round 2, we won the die roll, so we'll play first. Huh. Well, yeah, I don't think this hand's good enough. We basically have all black spells, no black mana. 4-drop, that's... I mean, the 4-drop would be very good with the Tezzeret's Touch, but I think we need to do a little bit better than that. Okay, this one will actually work because we get to scry and we get to scry again, so we can dig for our... Well, there's our black mana, so we'll keep that on top. And, yeah, I think this hand is actually not bad at all now, so let's get the construct down. Scry. Puzzle Knot I'll keep on top. Yeah, sure. Get to even play it and leave up Fatal Push next turn. Not bad. Okay, so I think we're going to push the Poisoner. I guess we can scry first. See what I want to leave on top. Alright, so we'll bottom the island, and I guess we'll leave the swamp on top. I mean, we're going to need it for the demolition, so I guess that's okay, and we can still scry off of this again if we need to. So let's deal with that guy. Get in for 2. I could have... I feel like using the push there is fine, actually. It's not like the push necessarily gets better later, especially since we can't really get a ton of value off of... Well, I'm going to attack with the construct here. Okay, so they're going to be able to get a servo, I guess. But it's not worth using a Daring Demolition on a Poisoner. So we'll leave up Insidious Will and the Glassblower's Puzzle Knot. I'm not going to counter that. So let's scry. We don't need lands, so we'll bottom this. Keep the Marauder on top, though. Smash with the construct. Play a Marauder and pass. Okay, so they got the upkeep value of Cruel Finality, and they put a card on top, so I presume it was a land. Operative is quite nice. Doesn't let us leave up Insidious Will, but I'm going to definitely play it here. Okay. It's gonna have to be fine here. Baral is good, but I'm gonna wait until I have the mana to play 2 spells in 1 turn, so we'll just hang out. Trying to think if I care about the 3/3. problem is I really don't care about the 3/3. But my opponent is built enough of a board where maybe I should care about the 3/3. Because I guess the operative's got to trade with the inventor. I also don't want them to get an additional energy so they can attack with the poisoner again. Alright. I don't love it, but I think it's time. So I can play Baral here. I can't Daring Demolition anything of too much substance, so I think we'll just play Baral and pass. I can play Tezzeret's Touch on the Construct, but they still have the Poisoner. So we'll just play Baral. Makes Daring Demolition cheaper as well. I may actually have to offer the trade of Baral with Poisoner. I'm not sure. Well, I don't have any luxuries anyway, so it doesn't matter. Alright, well, would have much rather countered that, but we can Daring Demolition it, so I guess it's not a huge deal. I guess the only problem is we have to Daring Demolition it. So now the problem is if I have to basically take one still, which is a bummer, it's bad, but if I don't and I block with Construct, I don't have any other artifacts, so my Dehund Operative loses its value to block the Inventor. Well, we drew another one, which is good, but let's take care of the flying dude and pass. And now at least I can trade the Construct for the Poisoner and play another one. All right. So, time to block. Wow. Opponent's got a pretty slick little deck there. It's a lot of Foundry Assemblers. Alright, so we have to play the Construct now. We're actually in pretty big trouble here. We got to leave that on top because I probably have to gain some life here soon. Okay, looks like we are officially toast. We are toast. So 3, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I guess we can take 14. We're super dead, which is a bummer, but that's okay. So Rush, not going to save us. All right, so we're toast. So opponent just completely dismantled us that game. I'm trying to think what went wrong. What did go wrong? We didn't deal with a Poisoner? We couldn't deal with a 1/1? Jeez. All right. That made me lose a little bit of morale, but hopefully we'll find it in game 2 here. Because I see no reason why we can't win this game, or this match, rather. I see absolutely zero reason why we can't win this. So I think we should be able to. I still can't quite put my finger on how everything went wrong there. Like, we can't deal with 5-mana 3/3s? Why? Why can I not deal with 5-mana 3/3s? That's weird. Yeah, I don't see much of a sideboard either. I mean, I guess this could potentially... Yeah, it's not worth it. Okay, we'll just run it like this again. We'll play first. This hand's good. I don't know if I want to Tezzeret's touch the servo token. This is actually way better for us because we got to play it first, which is cool. So we can attack with Poisoner, get our dude. And now we can block our opponent's Poisoner. That's actually pretty interesting. But they didn't want to trade Poisoner for Poisoner there. What? All right. I feel like we got the way better end of that one. So we can play P-Foul now and leave the Poisoner back. Okay. So that's no problem either. Let's just touch now. I'm not actually going to give flying. We're just going to attack here. And if our opponent kills it, we can get the P-Foul back. Otherwise, we get to leave up Insidious Will for their removal spell. All right, that's not going to do it. And neither is that, so we're good. We are good. All right, and we needed to land there, so that's kind of perfect. So let's give flying. In for 5 and pass. Leave up Insidious Will. They have to deal with the P-Foul in 2 turns or they are dead. All right, so we'll discard probably I think actually a Construct. Because Reverse Engineer can get us just all sorts of value. I get to Insidious Will to counter something, and Rush of Vitality is another way to save P-Foul beside the Insidious Will. So let's just have like a wall of things they have to get through, and then Reverse Engineer if they somehow manage to get through that. So we'll counter that. And the reason that I'm countering this is specifically because it has lifelink, not Death Touch. Because I could fly over top of it, but I want to keep it on a 2-turn clock, and I still have Rush of Vitality to save my Dakara P-Foul from 4-drop removal spells if I have to. So let's get in for our 5. Play Automaton and pass. So, I mean, opponent has showed us actually some really good cards. Like, Gifted Aetherborn is one of the best, if not the best black uncommon creature, at least. Gaining the extra 3 is a bit of a bummer. But, takes him back to a 2-turn clock. Yeah, I guess we're going to have to allow it. I don't want to cast Rush on that. Okay, that's not a big deal. Like I said, we're on a 2-turn clock here, so it's fine. Okay, that was actually a good draw. Why don't we do that? Another Tezzeret's Touch. Yeah, actually, I guess that is good, isn't it? So we can keep, yeah, we can keep both on top. Get in with the P-file and pass. So they have their own P-file, which will buy them another turn. Well, I guess it won't if I play another Tezzeret's Touch, right? Yeah, all right. So this should give us the win here. All right. So we got game 2. Like I said, our opponent's deck is good. It's just, it feels as though we have a good matchup still, despite our opponent's deck looking pretty good. I don't know. I'm not super impressed with the Foundry Assembler. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't think the card's that great. Even if you're, I mean, yeah, I suppose you could pay, 2 or 3 mana and get a 3/3, but it feels like the payoff that you get isn't that great anyway. You're just getting a 3/3. So, yeah, I guess I kind of do like the Inventor, and Implements are good. But it's, I mean, we're putting games away with Tezzeret's Touch, so I definitely think the Tezzeret's Touch is as good as I thought it would be. Even where it's at its worst, it's still pretty good. Still don't have much of a sideboard plan, so why don't we stick to the same thing here. I do think Perilous Predicaments maybe going to have some issues because they have a lot of servos, but that's all right. Ooh, yeah, we'll keep this one. This is a good hand, actually. Good turn progression. We'll see how this predicament plays for us. So at this point, we can just start bottoming lands. Okay. So we get to scry. We can bottom the land. And let's see what our opponent did. They put it on top as well. Okay, we put it on the bottom, they put it on top. So they found something they wanted. We'll play the puzzle knot here. Gonna bottom any lands, probably keep non-lands, I guess it depends. Yeah, the construct is gonna let us play it. All right, so we'll keep both of these on top. I guess no, I don't think that attack would have been that great anyway. Forced me to use all the mana in my turn. No play, okay. So we can play Construct here, and then we can actually play a turn 4, whoops, for a turn 4 Serpent, which is quite good. So let's play our Construct. I'm not going to offer the trade with the Automaton again. No reason to. Oh yeah, that's right. We're keeping the Marauder on top, but I'm still okay with that. Let's see what our opponent does. They put a card on top as well. So, I mean, they're finding the goods. Question is, what are the goods? I'm assuming just removal up the wazoo here. Okay, P-foul. So we can, I guess next turn I can make them sacrifice that stuff, but let's just play the Serpent here. 4 mana, 5/6 is pretty good, but I assume the Serpent's gonna die pretty quick, but it does at least force them to play the Demolition, whatever it's called. If they have it, they gotta just do it. Oh, that's not it. That's pretty sweet for us. Yeah, that's pretty perfect, actually. So, wow, that was a great draw, too. That was a really good draw. So we can play Perilous Predicament now, and they're not going to be able to block our Serpent. So they're going to get rid of a Construct and a Peafowl is my assumption, which is probably a fairly safe assumption. But we still get to bash in with our Serpent. So let's make them sack some stuff. Oh, wait. No, they have to get rid of their Inventor. Wow. Predicament doing work. So let's get in with Serpent. We can play Reverse Engineer next turn for 2 mana, which is actually pretty awesome because then we can draw a land and play the Marauder as well. So once again, they have to deal with Serpent immediately. Oh, all right. Now they're going for a little card advantage. Well, they have to dig for the removal, so that's fine too. And they don't really have a spell up that I think threatens the Serpent. So why don't we... I think we're still going to play Reverse Engineer here. Get some card draw going. That's good. So now we can play the Peafowl, but I still... Well, actually, the Marauder's less good now, isn't it, because of our opponent's Peafowl? That is actually... It is something to note. Either way, we're playing one of our 4-drops. So we'll get in with the Serpent. They have to take it. And we can play... I think we'll actually play the Peafowl. And the reason I'm playing the Peafowl is the Marauder, like I said, can't attack into the Peafowl, but a Peafowl can attack into a Peafowl. So that's fine. And now we can maybe start swinging with the Automaton. It's a 4/4. Okay, they're drawing hard. They're looking for that removal. Sensibly. Alright, so now they can't give their Peafowl flying. So we can go... This is actually pretty good for us. That's not a bad draw either. So... Although they're all kind of being held back by the Peafowl, aren't they? Well, it's alright. So here's what we do. We make this unblockable, make Peafowl fly. And we get him for 7. And this way, the Gifted Aetherborn does not bring them out of lethal range, so they still have to draw the removal for the Seeker Serpent. I mean, they've drawn a million cards, so I suspect they're going to be able to find it here shortly. But they do need it. Okay, Renegade Map does not do it. All right. So I could actually puzzle out Scry to maybe find a counterspell, but we need the Serpent to be unblockable again, I suppose, so let's just draw here. All right. They just need like an Essence Extraction or something. Okay, that's pretty brutal. It's going to buy them the time they need, sadly, but I can't do anything about it, so let's play Baral here. Yep, so they're just racking up all the card advantage. Sadly, we have not found our removal spell, so they had both the goodies there. I want to kill the Spy, I just can't. I mean, the good news is we can play Serpent really cheaply, which is nice. We get to play it for, what, 3 mana? Which is pretty slick. Fatal Push. That's cool too. Unfortunately... Well, let's play the Serpent first. Oh, actually... Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let's sack the Puzzle Knot, because then we get the Revolt to deal with the Spy. Which turns off the card advantage. Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. Alright, so we'll sack the Puzzle Knot. Ooh. I kind of don't want the Construct, but I definitely want the Resourceful Return. So we'll keep that. We'll Fatal Push the Quicksmith Spy. Okay, and then we'll pass. Okay, so they did find the goodies they needed. Okay, and then they have the Inventor, which is fine. So we can get back our Serpent. We can replay it. To draw an extra card. Play the land, play the Serpent for 4. And then we can play a Foundry Screecher as well. Okay, so opponent's got 1 card left in hand. We're still definitely ahead here. They need to answer our Serpent again. Trophy Mage is not going to do it. Watchful Automaton. Which one is that again? Oh, it gets to scry, sure. So they're going to Renegade Map, get an island, play an island. Watchful Automaton, so they can scry. They're still just digging hard, but our Serpent's going to get us this game, I presume. Tezzeret's Touch is also nice. It would let us attack into our opponent. It's just a 5/5 though, so they could block with both of these and kill my guy. So I guess it's not worth it. So let's just make this guy unblockable. Get in for our damage. Damage. I mean, I can Tezzeret's Touch. Our P-Foul. The reason that I would do it... If I draw a removal spell, it's a good idea, right? Because then, like if I draw a Daring Demolition, I can just kill one of the flyers and then I can just force them. Plus, I don't think it's a... yeah, you know, I'm actually okay. This is kind of strange, but I'm going to do it. Actually, this makes a lot of sense because it forces my opponent to basically chump our P-Foul if I attack with the Screecher and the P-Foul. So they're scrying at the beginning of their turn, digging hard, bottom. I assume they did not find what they needed. We'll see, though. Maybe they just have another Daring Demolition in there. Okay, hey, look at that. Got the game. Very cool. Very, very cool. So I think our opponent's deck was quite good and similar to ours, actually. They also had the Quicksmith Spy. They had some more premium cards, as a matter of fact. I think the Wolfkin Raiders, or the Windkin Raiders is fantastic. Gifted Aetherborn is very strong. They had Extraction. So there's a pretty good argument that their deck was just better than ours in hindsight. But I guess maybe I take that back. They were, because they were running at least 3 of those Foundry Assemblers, which once again, I don't think are that good. So maybe our decks were more even than I thought, because we have some good stuff going too. And like I said, I really do think these Tezzeret's Touch are good. So, all right, cool. I'm glad we could get the victory this time on the back of a Gear Seeker Serpent. That resourceful return just was immensely good, just very, very good. So let's see how we do in the finals with this.